Welcome to another episode of r/Entitledparents. If you're unaware what this subreddit is, it's basically stories about encounters with rude parents that think the world owes them everything because they have kids. So sit back, relax, and let's get annoyed. Entitled Mom wants me on the no-fly list for using my seat light at the late hour of 6:30 p.m. This story happened back in December, just after the colleges let out for the winter. I'm a teacher and my girlfriend is a grad student. So when she was done for the semester, I took a few days off from work and joined her for a vacation down to Virginia, where her parents live. It was the first time I was going to meet the whole family, and this is looking like a pretty serious relationship that might go all the way. We flew there from Newark on the United Express service, which is essentially a tiny tin can of an airplane where tall people can barely stand up. The seats are arranged 2 on one side and 1 on the other. Going there, we booked a 2-seater together, and the flight went off without a hitch. The trip was great. Her family and I got along. We visited Busch Gardens and Virginia Beach, and I ate an unhealthy amount of Mongolian barbecue. But unfortunately, I had to fly back alone. She planned to stay a few weeks with her parents before school started again, and I had to get back to work on Monday. I don't like flying, and I especially don't like flying solo. I'm not a great sleeper at the best of times, so sleeping on a plane is out. I booked myself a single seat on the left for privacy, bought a decent amount of reading material, and assumed that I would just be able to keep myself distracted for the 90-minute flight. Or so I thought. Let's meet the cast. Me, entitled mom, tired kid, flight attendant, old man. So I've settled into my solo seat near the front of the standard seating, and the old man behind me has popped a few pills and immediately falls asleep. I'm distracting myself with magazines when I hear a bellow of, "It'll be just fine." Entitled mom storms into the plane, pulling tired kid with one hand and an oversized wheeled suitcase with another. She proceeds to huff and puff while shoving it into the overhead compartment, despite all of us being told that baggage space is limited and we should check all hard suitcases. She eventually crams it in, sits down with tired kid, and the flight takes off. As soon as we get going, I turn on my overhead light and get back to reading. About 5 minutes later, I'm snapped out of my distraction. Entitled mom, "Sir? Sir?" "Yes?" "You need to turn your overhead light off. My daughter and I are trying to sleep." "Sorry, but I want to be able to read during this flight. It's only 6:30. "Excuse me? I'll have you know my daughter and I have been traveling all weekend. We're both exhausted, and the least you can do is be a little accommodating. You're the only person on this flight with the light on." I look around and it's true. So I say, "Well, sorry about that, but I can't really sleep on flights. I need this light." "Okay, that's enough of that." She gets up out of her seat and quickly turns my light off and sits back down with a smug smirk. I turn my light back on. Do not touch my light again. "Oh, really? We'll see what the authorities have to say about this." With another one of her trademark smirks, she hits the flight attendant call button about 5 times in a row. My butthole immediately clenches. I'm not a white dude, Moroccan Jewish to be exact, and any interaction with authority figures makes me nervous. But this is so absurd that I decided to see where it goes. I get back to reading as we wait for the flight attendant to get there. She shows up. A young woman who looks like she's had a long day. It's about to get longer. Flight attendant, "Can I help you, ma'am?" "Yes, you can. This horribly rude man won't turn off his overhead light, even after I told him how tired my daughter and I are. We have to fly to Cleveland tonight after this flight, and I think we deserve a little peace." "Well, ma'am, everyone can use their light as they want, but let me see what I can do." She turns to me. "Sir, would you mind turning out the light so she can sleep? Sorry, like I told her, I bought a solo seat so I could read." Entitled mom, "Just tell him to turn it off. He has to do what you say." Flight attendant, "Ma'am, we have blindfolds that you can use for you and your daughter to black out the light if you want." "Those are probably filthy." "No, they're individually wrapped and why are you making this so hard? Just make him turn it off." Flight attendant turns to me. "Sir, would you be willing to move seats so she's not bothered? We have some empty seats there." She points to her seat near the back next to another man. Me, I'm catching a train after I get off and don't like the idea of being at the back, especially as some people are likely going to be taking a while to get their luggage out. Entitled mom, how dare you? You look like you belong in the back of the plane. Just get back there and stop bothering us. Now, I was kind of casually dressed and had a 4-day beard, but we all know what she really meant. My stubbornness and spite levels just went up over 9,000. Me, pass. Also, nice racism. You know what I meant, you punk. She turns to the flight attendant. Are you going to do something about this or not? Tired kid. Mommy? Look what you did. I'll have you know that tired kid has a spelling bee on Monday and you're depriving her of her much needed sleep. She turns to the flight attendant. Now you, go talk to someone with authority to do something about this and get this punk out of my sight or I'll have your job. Flight attendant turns to me. Sir, it's not a long flight. Would you please? Me. I'm sorry, but I don't have a problem here. She does. She's making this entire flight miserable. I don't think I should have to inconvenience myself to make her happy. Looking defeated, the flight attendant runs up to the front of the plane to talk to what I assume are the people in charge. Entitled mom snarls at me. You're in for it now. You'll be on the no-fly list after this. Me. Lady, you're nuts. Get help. Flight attendant returns and immediately turns to me. Entitled mom's eyes go wide with excitement. Flight attendant. Sir, would you be willing to move up 4 rows? You'll be closer to the front that way, and it's another single seat. She doesn't say it, but I know this is the extra legroom section that you pay a little more for. Me. Yes, I think that's fine. Entitled mom. Wait, he gets a better seat? Why didn't you offer that to us? Flight attendant. There's only single seats available up there, ma'am. This is ridiculous. He shouldn't get awarded. He ruined our flight. And when we get to Newark, I'll be informing your boss and the authorities. So you both get exactly what you... Old man startles the entire flight. For God's sakes, lady, shut up. I'm trying to sleep. She shuts up after that, and I move to my new seat. I wish I could tell you that this was some luxurious first-class digs, but this is a crappy short-haul flight in a tin can. I had maybe 2 more inches of legroom, and I got my half a cup of soda and tiny bag of pretzels a few minutes early, but I was far away from entitled mom. When the flight landed, I quickly grabbed my bag and got off, sneaking a look back as she held up the entire line trying to wedge her suitcase free from the tiny overhead compartment. We were about 20 minutes early to Newark, so I got a bagel before catching my train. I get to see entitled mom barreling past, dragging the suitcase and tired kid behind her, yelling that this airport is full of idiots and she doesn't know where to find her connecting flight. She catches sight of me at the bagel place and says, You're a horrible person and I hope you go straight to hell. Good luck getting back to Cleveland. Don't come back. And that was the end of the story of Karen the First, Scourge of Airplanes. It ended without any police, property damage, or assault, but it certainly did nothing to make me appreciate flying more. Entitled mom thinks their family is entitled to a public seat. Hella short story, but here we go. So I've been traveling around Europe recently, and yesterday I got a train in Switzerland and I thought I'd speak about my experience with this one entitled mom. So I was on the train. It's absolutely packed with people, and I was lucky enough to get a seat. I sat with 3 other strangers, 2 of which who knew each other. We stop at this station where I get to meet this lovely individual and her 3 kids. Entitled mom. Excuse me, you guys need to move. What? No, I don't. It's reserved. You need to move. The reserved seats are clearly labeled, which these were not reserved. No, it's not. We got here first. You need to go find somewhere else to sit. My kids need to sit. You need to move. Her kids looked like young teenagers, by the way. No, I'm choosing not to move because I'm comfortable in this seat. It is not reserved. Please stop shouting, as there are other people on this train. If she asked nicely instead of yelling at me in front of everybody, I would have been happy to move/stand. Stranger. We're not going to move just because you want us to. I'm calling the attendants. Okay, do it. Attendant. Okay, so what's happening? These people are sitting in our seats. No, we're not. Listen, your family is not entitled to these seats just because you want them. Attendant. Okay, these people were here first. You either need to stand or find somewhere else to sit. You're disturbing other passengers, and if you don't calm down, we have the right to kick you off this train." The entitled mom continues to shout at us and the attendant, and she gets herself kicked off at the next stop. I know it seems like I'm being a bit of an a-hole, but I refuse to take BS from people who are being a-holes to me for no reason. It's no way to act in public, and it's no way to act in front of your child. It goes to show that a little bit of manners goes a long way. The rest of the train ride was chill, and I highly recommend going to Switzerland if you ever get the chance. It's a beautiful place. Thanks for checking out my video, guys. I hope these stories filled you with all the feels. Also, share this video with a friend, hit that like button, and subscribe if you're new, or a Karen will hide in your closet and stare at you while you sleep.